So, today we've seen some really interesting news coming out of the crypto world. It turns out BlackRock has been moving huge amounts of Bitcoin over to Coinbase, and the speculation is that they're planning to sell some of that Bitcoin. And here's where things get even more interesting. There's this strong rumor circulating again that BlackRock might actually be in talks with the SEC to get an XRP spot ETF approved. And you know what? It kind of makes sense. I mean, BlackRock is one of the few major players in the US that hasn't yet filed for an XRP spot ETF. They've already got Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs out there. XRP would be the next logical step. Now, let's take a look at the markets because we're seeing a bit of a bounce today. XRP, in particular, is showing some small signs of recovery. And I think it's important to explain what's going on behind that. You see, just a few minutes ago, Trump announced that they're pausing the tariffs on certain Chinese products until August 31st. Yeah, once again, the markets are getting played like a fiddle. Not too long ago, they were saying that tariffs were going to kick in. Now, they're pausing them again. And honestly, there's no other way to describe this than manipulation. Plain and simple. They're manipulating the markets. So, what does this mean for us? Well, if you've been around for a while, you'll know how this game goes. Trump and his administration are playing both sides. One day it's we're hitting China with tariffs. The next day it's, oh no, let's pause that for now. This time, they've paused tariffs on some Chinese goods, specifically the ones the US desperately needs for their own industries, until the end of August. It's a move that could push markets higher in the short term, but we'll see how long that lasts. I wouldn't be surprised if in a few days they flip the script again. Now, back to XRP. The chances of getting a spot ETF approved in the US have jumped up to 90%. That's huge. But remember, before an ETF can even happen, we need that lawsuit with the SEC to finally wrap up. That's the first big hurdle. So when people talk about a 90% chance of an XRP ETF, they're really combining two things: the end of the SEC lawsuit plus the approval of the ETF itself. And right now, that's looking more likely than ever. Let's talk about this Bitcoin move. Just today, June 2nd, BlackRock transferred 4,113 Bitcoin, worth around $429.4 million, over to Coinbase. And immediately after this, the rumor about the XRP ETF started circulating again. Coincidence? I don't think so. It's pretty clear that BlackRock is positioning itself for something. Larry Fink knows exactly what he's doing. He's already got the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF. XRP is the logical next step. There's no way he's going to sit this one out, especially with all the interest around XRP. It's just a matter of time before we see that spot ETF filing from BlackRock. And look, if that happens, it's going to be a major catalyst for XRP. No doubt about it. But, and I want to be super clear here, this is still just a rumor. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll have to see how things play out in the coming weeks, whether the lawsuit finally ends, and whether BlackRock officially files for that XRP spot ETF. But I'll tell you what really caught my attention: the timing of BlackRock's Bitcoin sale. They moved over $429 million worth of Bitcoin to Coinbase. And usually, when you move coins from a cold wallet, especially one as secure as BlackRock's, to a centralized exchange like Coinbase, it's because you're looking to sell. That's the standard pattern. So yeah, it seems like they're offloading Bitcoin, and maybe they're clearing the runway for an XRP ETF move. It's all connected, in my opinion. Let's keep an eye on this, because the next few weeks could be crucial for XRP, for the crypto markets in general, and for anyone following these ETF developments. It's all about timing now. All right, that's it for today's deep dive. Let's stay sharp and see where the chips fall in the coming days.